Guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you to all the new subscribers. So today I might or might not go to the gym, and then I have a few errands to run and I'd like to take you with me. But before that, I want us to talk about how life is in Norway so far, or was it worth it, like moving here. And yeah, so for the first thing I'd like to talk about is the language. The moment you land here, you'll realize that they speak a different language. There's like a different language on the banners in the airport and stuff like that. And so if you're here for a short stay, you don't necessarily have to learn the language because they speak fluent English. But if it's a long-term thing, that's one of the things you'd have to consider. So yeah, and the language spoken here is Norwegian. Yeah, and then the second thing, in like shock sort of, but it depends on the time you arrive here. I'd say mi nilifika time ya winter and it was very cold. I remember I was wearing sweatpants and a sweatshirt and low-cut shoes and just ordinary socks, cotton. It's very light, and a big fur coat. Yeah, and then well, coming from Kenya that day, I felt like, yeah, this is warm enough because I had been told that it's very cold here. But then I didn't comprehend how cold it would be. So then I just wore like that, and then I went to the airport, took a flight, and then when we got to Oslo, we landed at around 7 p.m. or 6. We touched down at around, I think, 7 p.m. Guys, it was cold. It felt like, for the first time, like I had never experienced that kind of cold. It felt like cold air just inakuchapa uso immediately. So yeah, it was very cold and dark. Yeah, it gets dark from around 3 p.m. from around the month of November or late October. Inaenda hivyo all the way mpaka April-ish. April, March, yeah. March, end of March, and then again we have longer days, and then sa inakuwa tena. So for winter, darkness ina set in at around 3:30, alafu inaisha from 8:30 to 9, all the way for hizo 6 months or 5 months, November to March, November to April. And then after hapo it's spring and then summer. So during summer it's like kuna light mob. The sun can set as late as 12 midnight and then rise as early as 4 a.m. I think that's my favorite season because I hate the darkness, I hate the cold, but I like when it's warm and there's light. I don't mind. For me, I affect any sleep pattern or anything. I'll just sleep. Mi ikifika masaa nitalala. Yeah, so then that was the shock I got when I got here. And for the first few days sikuwa nime comprehend how cold it is because I think I rarely went out. And then when I started now going out, I got lost on the day I went out. Sema baridi kunitoka. My fingers were frozen, and now I started getting stressed because I was thinking, will I really manage? Nita manage kweli kuishi huku? Because it was so cold. I think it was minus 20 degrees that day. And it kept getting worse because the following weekend it got to minus 27. And that day, almost everything stopped in this city. Like, it was really low. But to think that there are places in this world that even get colder than that is crazy. But yeah, so if you're coming from like an equatorial region or tropical region, this will be really cold for you. But with the right layering of clothes, first you have to wear wool socks. That's what most people do here. But for me right now, I wear wool socks, and then underneath my jeans, I wear leggings. And then underneath my top, I wear like wool vest or very light wool top. And then now I layer with now my other top and the sweater. Before I used to wear trench coats, but right now it's just not cutting it. Ni baridi, ni inanilemea. Now I just switched to like big puffy jackets, and that seems to be working for me. And then you have to wear very thick gloves. But see, by the way, again, it's not a must. Watu wanasikia baridi on different levels. But for me, I think it's just too much. It's too much even when it's just -5. Mi inanilemea. But I think I've come from far, because initially at 2 degrees was very cold for me. But right now I think nimezoea. It's not that bad. So unava gloves. If the normal gloves don't work for you, then you have to get the thermal gloves. They're, I think, ziko heated or something. Bado sijafika hapo. And then yeah, so you have to have wool clothing and underneath your ordinary clothing, and then like a big jacket or a trench coat, depending on how cold una feel. So yeah, so far kuna language. Once you get here, it's a different language being majorly spoken. Of course they speak English, and then there is the weather aspect. During summer it gets really warm. It's just nice. Summer is nice. I think it's bearable. Sometimes it gets too hot, but I guess because it's humid, it's very humid. But then for me it's manageable kind of heat, not the ni kama ile heat ya Mombasa, sort of just. And I think ni because of the sea, Oslo being close to the sea. But yeah, it's something manageable if you come from warmer areas in the world. And then the third thing is the food. I think wako na food zao, which might take time for someone to adjust. But then the good thing is that kuna markets that sell African food, and you can easily or not. Well, if you don't know the places to buy them, it might be a challenge, but once you know where to buy them, then it gets easy. You will know like where to buy African food. Unaweza pata like ata let's say like what, fish, beef, seasonings. Yeah, right now saisi mbaya, you can get African food or food that tastes close to home if you really miss food from home. And then yeah, hapo kwa food I don't think it's really that much of a challenge. Yeah, and you can, there's like a variety of food Norwegians wanna consume, like Asian food, wanna consume Mexican sort of, but kuna venye imekuwa sort of their food. For example, tacos, like, see, they're originally Mexican, but imekuwa part of Norwegian culture. They eat it mostly on Fridays. Any other day, yes, but mostly on Fridays. And then yeah, so for Asian food, they're big consumers of Indian food, Thai food, Filipino cuisine. And I think we've been exposed to that. If you're coming from a country to say like Kenya, already ushakuwa exposed to like Indian food, kina biryani and stuff. Yeah, so it's not entirely bad ikifika kwa food. Si ati ni kitu uta-manage if una plan kukuja huku. And then the fourth thing is education. So let's say una plan kukuja huku as a student. There are courses that are really expensive, and there are courses that are, well, generally it's expensive, but if you're married to like an EU citizen or a Norwegian citizen, but I will confirm, I think you're not obliged to pay fees, especially kama ni Norwegian, your husband is Norwegian citizen or your wife, or let's just say your spouse, hautakuwa obligated kulipa fees, so utasoma for free. And then if you're coming as an international student, it can get really expensive. There's a course that goes for up to 2.4 million per year, guys. And then there's a course that goes for up to 1.2 million a year. That is in Kenyan shillings. Well, I'd say it's pretty expensive, but pia expensive, cheap, that's relative. To some people it won't be. It's just affordable. To some might be pretty high. And then like students have a limit of working hours. So per week, wako allowed to work for up to 20 hours only. So per month that makes it 80. But during the summer break, I think kuna exception, they can work for as long as they want. But after that, like the normal months, they are only allowed to work for up to 20 hours a month. And if you exceed, they will come for you. Not come for you per se, but utapewa warning and stuff like that. So you see, if you're paying rent, unajilisha, unalipa school fees, some courses I think might be too expensive to study here. So kama let's say unataka kustudy huku, you are considering to study here, I think it's really nice to look at the fees, the budget and stuff like that. And then most of the bachelor degree courses are taught in Norwegian. So again, like I said, if you're planning to stay here for a longer period of time, whether you like it or not, you're gonna have to learn the language. But if it's just for a short stay, then English will do. But yeah, and then master's courses, most of them I think are all ziko taught in English, so that's okay. But kama ni bachelor's degree or undergrad, that uta need to learn the language because iko taught in Norwegian. And then the job market for some courses, it's I think ni favorable. For some utatamak. Yeah, believe it or not, people tamak here. Hata wazungu wa other countries, they come here wanatafuta jobs. Some take longer to get, some get immediately. Ina depend pia na field. I think there are just some fields in this world enye it's pretty easy to get something. I don't know if easy should be the word, but yeah. But kuna zingine pia utatamak because there are some courses zenye wame reserve those jobs for themselves, which is okay, it's understandable. Yeah, it's their country, they can do whatever they want. Yeah, so kama una consider kukuja huku as a student, I would advise you really do your research and you know what you want to do. You should know if you're okay with learning the language as you take your course, or I don't know if you'll be required to learn it, to know the language before taking the course if it's an undergrad. That's why I'm saying, like, do your research. There is a link to the application portal. I can link it, I can put the link here before. And then the next thing I want to talk about is the systems. So here, let's say kwa mfano, like the transport systems, they really work. It's compared to Kenya. I mean, kila place iko na issue yake and stuff, because sometimes trains get cancelled. Like this past weekend, the trains were not working. But then comparing to like Kenya, for example, I think Norway is much better. First, kuna app, there's a transport app where you unaeka tu where you're going to and where your starting point, and to where from and where, and then it will just show you all the available means of transport. So kama uko kwa city center, usually it will give you so many options. There's bus, kuna tram, kuna subway, and kuna train. So itakupea these options and you choose which which suits you or which is most convenient. So and they really work. And then you have to buy a ticket, or else ukishikwa bila ticket, ask me. Nikiwa mgeni nilishikwa huku bila ticket. I don't know, hata sijui, niliingia tu kwa tram na nikasahau I was supposed to buy the ticket before. The best thing is to buy the ticket before you get into the tram, subway, bus, train, all that. But then I just forgot. I got in. Unajua sa umetoka Kenya, umezoea wewe unaingia tu utalipa. Nilishikwa. I was fined heavily. Guy, ilikuwa like pesa huku ilikuwa 1,700 Norwegian kronas. Yuki, naumwa hata kusema tu. Kuconvert ilikuwa inakuja, that time ilikuwa inakuja around 24,000. Guy, na ujue sa hiyo ticket ni like 40 kronas. That's like 40 times 12. Your time the exchange rate was 15. Or we can do by 12. That's like 240 Kenya shillings. Imagine failing to use that. Nikalipa 24th. Guy, hata sitaki kumbuka, hata msinikumbushe. Inaniuma. Okay, I felt bad. And then it's embarrassing. Like kila mtu anakuangalia saa hiyo ukifainiwa. No, wanakuprintia your receipt. Unakatiwa hivi, unapewa, kila mtu tu anakuangalia. Guy, it's so embarrassing. Yeah. So since that time, mi nilisema I'll never take a gamble. So usually I buy monthly tickets. Unaweza buy daily ticket, which is 24 hours. And then you can buy weekly. And then you can buy monthly. Or kama uko usawa, unaweza buy yearly. So right now, me just buy monthly ticket. Because I tend to use every day. Almost every day, use the transport system. So it's ideal for me. So yeah, that's the thing with that. It's good to have a ticket standby, just to avoid these fines and stuff. So as you can see, their transport system in a work. Healthcare is a bit tricky. See kama Kenya, where uta walk into hosi and then they get your file and all that. Hapa you have to book. I remember there's a time I had a very bad flu. Guys, kwenda kubook appointment kwa doc, because you have to book. And then and most of the time it's so hard kupata an immediate appointment. Unaweza pata like an opening is after 1 week or 2 weeks. I don't think ishaipita 2 weeks. It can though. I guess na depend at the doctor umekuwa assigned. Yeah, so for me, your time, I had a very bad flu. Nikienda kubook appointment, ilikuwa inakuja like after 2 weeks. So mi najiambia sasa nitakuwa nimepona. But again, kuna private clinics that you can go, uta walk in, si walk in per se, but you can get an early appointment. Like tuseme ni leo unataka kwenda kesho, it's so easy kupata an appointment that's close. But then it's very expensive. Consultation peke yake ni like 800 kronas ya huku. That's like 8 times 9,600 ya Kenya. No, ukiangalia ya nini ya this other one yenye uko insured under, it's like 240 kronas. So unaona hiyo difference, 800 na 240. That's really affordable compared to hii ingine. So if it's not urgent na utaki kuspend your pesa yote, then you can just book and then wait for your appointment. So hiyo time hata sikuwa nimefikiria kuna private clinics. Me, I just knew this is the only place I could go. So I booked, I waited. Guys, I waited for 2 weeks. Hata I think by the time nilikuwa naenda nilikuwa nishapona. But then again, usipo cancel in time, you will be fined. Usipo cancel now, tuseme umepona and you want to cancel na utaki kuenda tena kwa doc, you will be fined if you don't cancel on time, in time, 24 hours before, at least 24 hours before. So mi sikutaka kucancel juu I thought wacha tu niende juu inaweza rudi, and then I regret why the flu might, so nikaenda tu, and then I told the doctor, me actually I feel better, nini, these were the symptoms, Kanembea, and usually ukutambua tu meza paracetamol. Aki, kai kupewa antibiotics. Heyo, tunaspoiliwa huko Kenya. But also, you know, antibiotics is not good. With time you develop the resistance to it. So, si poa pia kuzoesha mwili antibiotics. So, nishazoea huku. Paracetamol till I get better. Or unajiundia concoction ya ginger, garlic, lemon, hizo vitu, honey. Then you just drink daily mpaka unapona. And then now paracetamol to manage the pain, yeah, or the discomfort. Yeah, so nikapewa tu hiyo, niliandikiwa hiyo. Another time again I had migraines, and then nikaandikiwa tena tu paracetamol. Didn't work, nikapewa a stronger painkiller. I think ilikuwa diclofenac or something. Yeah, that you just get used to it. And with time, I think build immune system yako juu. By the time sasa you actually take antibiotics, ni a serious case, which is, I think it's a good thing. Yeah, compared to, it's good na it's bad. Jusa, you can imagine mtu uko in a very bad state. Juu hata pia easy clinics zenye ni private yenye you can easily access. Si ati they're not that well equipped. So you can imagine mtu ako in a dire situation, kitu yenye ina need like urgent medical attention, and then they have to wait for like a week to be checked by the doctor. See, that's not nice. Or yeah, you can access the clinic fine, but you don't have the money, you can't afford that. You see, now you're left with no choice but just to wait for your appointment. So hapo kwa health, I think I'd prefer Kenya more over the Norwegian system, but you know, again, kila kitu iko na pros na cons. Yeah, and then hapo kwa transport system, I think I would prefer Norway. You can schedule your transport na ikwe tu like we sasa ni we uchelewe train kuache, uchelewe nini subway kuache. Although Kenya for long distance travels, I think you can like book with same like with Easy Coach, SGR pia you can book, but local travel transports like within Nairobi, sema unatoka from Ngara to Tao, you can't really schedule that. Magari si ni mob, si utaenda tu hapo ungoje uchukue yenye iko juu. Pia huwezi jua time itatoka, but hapa you can actually plan like, okay, natoka hii time kwa nyumba, nifike kwa bus stop at this time, inipeleke hadi Tao, nifike this time. Yeah, so make planning really easy, but then it takes time to get used to it because pia kuna kupotea. I used to get lost, but at least right now I'm good with the maps, still getting better. And then another thing, nili notice that Kenya is at least better. I mean, it's not that bad hapa, but I think I really like, it's just a minor comparison. The internet in Kenya ni poa. It's a little bit better than here. Just sometimes hapa we internet inaweza tuacha kuwa. But si ati kila saa, guys. Ziko, the difference is the same, but there's a slight, very little difference. Kidogo tu, but yeah, hapo nae I appreciated Kenya. Tuko na good internet connectivity. And then the last thing is like, tuseme cost of living. Cost of living is relatively expensive. Relatively high, and the taxes are also high, but the good thing is that pia salaries ni poa, but pia, you know, the higher you earn, I mean, taxes ziko juu. Tuseme una earn like 100k, doesn't matter which currency in, just take a flat number, 100,000, utataxiwa up to close to 40%. So you take home like 60k. That's really high taxes if you ask me. But naona hata Kenya sai tunaelekea hapo, is getting bad, guys. And you know, the bad thing in Kenya is that salaries don't change. Hapa kuna some places that where people work, salary inaenda inapanda every I think every year. And then kuna bonuses like at least twice a year. Kuna again, si kila mahali. So kuna mtu asinikuje, kuna watu organizations zao zinawapea bonus in March and in December, which I think is a good thing. That's really good. And so yeah, kuna at least hata kama cost of living iko juu, your salary pia every year ikienda juu, ina make some sort of sense, as opposed to just taxes going high and your salary is just the same. And then the ease of getting jobs, I think I talked about that. Inategemea na the course that you did. Yeah, inategemea tu na field yenye uko. And then uku, let's say unataka kuja kuwork, kuna tu only specific fields zenye you are allowed to. Mtu asikudanganya tutakuja hapa kama caregiver. No, iyo utapewa visa. Aki, I know so far, like from what I've read and what I used to read about here, kuna hiyo visa inaitwa skilled worker. Na hiyo ndio unaweza kuja nayo, na ni professions kama IT, watu wako kwa hiyo field, medical field. Sitaki kusema vitu zenye siko sure. So far I know of those two. But ati mtu akwambia ati unakuja, hiyo uwezi. There are some courses, some jobs zenye wame reserve for you to get, lazima ukwe resident wa hapa already. Resident, I mean uko na what is it called? Nini ya kuishi hapa. Uko na permit ya kuishi hapa for some period of time. Na si ati visit visa. Don't try that. Utajiletea shida. Ukikuwa visitor, you're not allowed to work unless you're a student or uko married to someone here, or I don't know, maybe when EU ulikuwa another EU country, ulipata citizenship huko, umekuja kuishi huku. Yeah, but yeah, so ni hivo mostly. And then yeah, I think that's majorly what I wanted to talk about. Yeah, so if you have any questions, please just write them on the comment section. I might address them in the next video, or neza tu answer there. And then yeah, so I hope this was helpful. So right now, Aki, I don't know if I should go to the gym. I'm just not motivated. Aki, sijiski kusema tu kweli. Sijiski. So I might just go to the city, buy a few stuff and come back. The stuff that I need to buy. So that's about it. If there's anything else you'd like to know or you want me to talk about, please just drop it in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer your questions. So yeah, that's it for how so far it is here. And then I'd say, for me, if you ask me, was it worth it to like move here, I think so far I'd say yeah. I mean, but of course, again, like I said, kila place iko na pros na cons. I just miss the Kenyan sun. The weather, tuko na weather poa sana back home. And I hate is strong. I'm not really fond of having to take vitamin D every day, because like today there is no sun. You can go for like even a week, hakuna jua, it's just cloudy or dull. Now that's during winter only, and winter lasts for like 5-6 months. So you can imagine unaenda for even 2 weeks and then ndio jua inatokea. Jua yenyewe hata ausikii kitu, ni kama tu bulb imeashwa huko kwa sky. Haina hiyo, usikii any heat kaina kuchapa, getting to your skin, nothing. Is just very cold. The air is very cold. So the fact that I have to take vitamin D every day, I'm not really fond of that. And then sometimes you forget, but with time unazoea, utakuwa your brain unakumbuka tu. But yeah, hizo ndo the things I might say so far. Okay, so guys, I've decided to not go to the gym. and then I'm just going to get a few stuff, not a few stuff, actually ni vitu mbili tu, and then I come back home. Yeah, and it's not so cold today, surprisingly. This is really good. It's like 1 degree Celsius or 2. It's not really that cold. This is manageable. I can even walk without gloves. So leo it's not that cold. At least I can walk without gloves. Trying to feel niko warm. That's a good thing. So naenda tu catch the train, but kama waiting time itakuwa long kabla ikuje, I think I'll just take the bus or whatever means is available hadi tao. Hapa hivi bado hakuna subway. Sijapata kenye nilikuwa nimekuja kutafuta, so I'm going to the other branch of the same store to see if I'll find it. So this is what I came to pick. The in-wash scent booster. Yeah, gives your clothes that nice scent. Yeah, so at least nimepata. I don't want to buy any other thing, any other necessary thing. So let's just go pay and we leave. Me to get him a protein shake. Yeah, this is the store, I guess. sent me here, but I don't see any protein shake. Oh my god, naona tu viatu. I guess I'll have to go back up. Yeah, I can only see clothing. Yeah, I'll just go back up because they have an upper section. I'll check and then yeah. So I'm here for a protein shake, and then I think my errands will be done. If I'm not wrong, I hope I haven't forgotten something. Watu wa gym, hizi vitu zenyu. Anyway, we went to gym, but I don't know. Just never did it. So I'm taking this in the flavor chocolate. Who wants chocolate? And there's also vanilla. Oh. Yeah, so I'll take that. So guys, I think I'll end the vlog here. I'm done buying everything that I needed. So yeah, I'm going home. My battery is very low right now. So bye.